Safi'S. I'm a student in Bachelor of Arts program for America at Safi'S Video G, and I'm conducting this interview as a part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information on the state of deliverable. I'm working for a state of law project. The interview will be used to create state deliverable and submit it to my America, so that my project can be completed. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview information will be temporarily stored and shared for America online evaluation system, which only the evaluator and employed for America staff will have access. Do you have any questions? Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
So thank you so much. My name is Jason Captain. Give my informed contact to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as a part of academic work.
What are the three branches of government?
I don't know.
What does each branch do?
I don't know.
Democrat and Republican are the major parties. Can you name a third part?
I don't know.
What is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
I don't know.
Hi, my name is Safi'S. I'm a student in Bachelor of Arts program with College for America at Safi'S Video G, and I'm conducting this interview as a part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use information in a state of deliverable. I'm working for a state the goal project. This interview will be used to create state the deliverable and submit it to College for America, so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview information will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluator and College for America staff will have access. Do you have any questions? Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
meze nk'umukobwa wari ugiye gushyingirwa.
What does each branch do? Democrat and Republican are the major parties. Can you name the third part? What is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law? So thank you so much. I'm going to answer the questions that my interviewer didn't know. So first question was saying that, what are the three branches of government? So the three branches of government are the legislative, executive, judiciary branches. So these branches play different roles, where the legislative make laws it makes with Congress, constitute of the House of Representatives and Senate. So the second question was saying that, what does each branch do? So, at least two visual. With the legislative branch of the U.S. government, it helps to draft proposed law, confirms or reject presidential nomination for head of federal agency. This means that this branch helps to select the laws from the drafted. This branch provides American citizens the right to vote for Senate and representative through free, confidential ballot. So this indicates the American citizens have the right to vote for a Senate for free. This is the most important because the citizens got the opportunity to share out their feelings about voting, since they have the right to vote for free. This helps them to choose a leader who can represent them based on their interest. With executive branch, it carries out the enforces laws, include the president, vice president, and cabinet. With this, they are the key role that executive branch play, include president, where the president leads the country. He or she is the head of state, leader of the federal government, and commander-in-chief of the United States, armed force. On the side of the vice president, he or she support the president. If the president is unable to serve, the vice president become president. Cabinet member serve as advisor to the president. They include the vice president, head of executive departments, and other high-ranking government officials. With this, much of the work in the executive branch is done by federal agents, department, committee, and other groups. So with the judiciary branch of the US government, it interprets the meaning of laws, apply law to individual cases, and decide if law violates the Constitution. This indicates that this branch put in application the law to individual cases. According to our resources, I found that all these branches are connected since they help to ensure the government is effective and citizens' rights are protected. I say this because legislative branch helps to make the law, executive carries out the laws, and judiciary applies the laws. All of these practices are created of the US citizen, which helps to ensure the US citizens' rights are protected. So, how do they legislate each other? Checks and balance. With the check and balance, each of the three branches of government can limit the power of the others. This way, no one branch becomes too powerful. Each branch checks the power of the other branch to make sure that is balance between them. For instance, this process is how laws are made is a good example of check and balance in action. This is because legislative branch introduced the vote on a bill, and the bill goes to the executive branch where the president decides where they think the bill is good for the country. If they realized that the bill is good to the go ahead and sign the bill and it become a law. On the other hand, if the president doesn't believe the bill is a good for the country, he doesn't sign it. Here, legislative branch gets another chance of creating laws. With enough votes, the legislative branch can override the executive branch veto, and the bill become a law. Once a law is in place, the people of the country can test it through the court system, which is under the control of the judicial branch. If someone believes a law is unfair, a lawsuit can be filed. A lawyer then make argument for and against the case, and a judge decide which side has presented the most convincing argument. This shows the way each branch controls other. So, Democrat and Republican are the major party. Can you name the third part? This is the third question. So the third part, admino. So what impact do admino part have? What impact do third part have on a national politics? So third parties may also help voter turnout by bringing more people to the poll. Third party candidates at the top of the ticket can help to draw attention to other party candidates down the ballot, helping them to win local or state office. So, role of third party in a national election. Through the American political structure has constantly been a two-part system. Third parties occasionally influence election, and third-party candidates sometimes obtain elected position. third parties are significant because they can present new issues or policies or ideas to voters that the two major parties would otherwise not discuss. Also, they can take voter away from one part, causing the opposing part to win. So, what is the basic process by which a bill become a law? After both the House and Senate have approved a bill in identical form, the bill is sent to the president. If the president approves the legislation, it is signed and become law. If the president take no action for 10 days while Congress is in session, the bill automatically will become law. So thank you very much. Now I'm going to discuss about the two things that and those are third part and describing them and how a bill become a law by explaining the 9 steps that it passed through before it become a law. So first part, the example of the minor part in the US include the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, Constitution Party, and other that have less influence than major parties. The Libertarian Party support laissez-faire policy, small government, and it's characterized by being a social liberal and fiscal conservative. The Green Party is a progressive party that emphasizes eco-socialism. This means that the Green Party is continuing to emphasize the things that cannot harm the environment, while the Constitution Party is a socially and fiscally conservative party backed by religious light. This means that the Constitution Party is the socially and fiscally modest party sponsored by religious light. So the second is the process that show how a bill become a law. I found that there are 9 steps that a bill pass through before becoming a law. So the first step, the bill is drafted. With this, the step both Senate and the House of Representatives who have idea for a law can draft a bill. This idea come from the Congress member themselves or from everyday citizen and advocacy group. So the second step is the bill is introduced. Once the bill is drafted, it must be introduced. This is the most important because once a bill is introduced, it can be found on a Congress, which is official government website that attracts federal registration, to mean that this Congress government help to track the what legislation made. With this, if a representative is a sponsor, the bill is introduced in the house. While if a senator is a sponsor, the bill introduced in the senator. This shows that the bill drafted introduced based on where it is drafted. So the third step is the bill goes to the committee. With this step, as a bill was introduced on the second step, it is passed to a committee. Here above, the House and the Senate behave several committee composed a group of Congress members who are particularly interested in different topics such as health or international affairs. The community is here to help the judging what is good for the community. With this, if the committee does not act on a bill, the bill is considered to be a deal. So the fourth step is the subcommittee review of the bill. With this step, subcommittee are organized under the under committee and have further specialization on the certain topic. This means that subcommittee are arranged under committee and have more unlike specialization on a certain topic. So with this, committee refer to the bill to a subcommittee for study in their own hearing. Here, subcommittee may make change to the bill and must vote to refer a bill back to the full committee. So the fifth step is the committee markup for a bill of the bill. So this is a step when the hearing and the subcommittee review are completed. The committee will meet to mark up the bill. This means that committee will make after finding the committee is the subcommittee review so that they can sustain up a bill. Here, the committee can make change in the writing prior to recommend the bill to the floor. With this, if a committee vote not to report registration to the full chamber of the Congress, the bill dies. While if a committee vote in a favor of the bill, it will reported to the floor. So the sixth step is voting by the full of chamber of the bill. With this step, once a bill reached to the floor, here is additional debate, and the member of the full chamber vote approve any amendment. To mean that when a bill reached on the floor, there will be other additional debate of the member, so that the full chamber can vote to approve many mandate. Here the bill is passed or defeated by the member voting. So the seventh step is the referral of the bill of the other chamber. With this step, when the House and the Senate pass a bill, it's transferred to the other chamber, where it is usually follow the same route through committee and final to the floor. This means that the chamber that received the bill, which reviewed with both of the Senate and House, will need to follow the same route that the committee used to the final form. Here, this chamber may approve the bill as received, reject them, ignore them, or change them. So the eighth step, the bill goes to the president. With this step, after the both House and Senate have approved a bill in identical form, directly the bill is sent to the president. After the president receives them, the president approves that registration, and it is signed and becomes law. Here, if the president takes an action for 10 days while Congress is in session, the bill automatically becomes law. On the other hand, if the president opposes the bill, they may veto the bill. So the last step is overriding the veto. Here, if the president vetoes a bill, Congress may attempt to override the veto. This shows that if the president denies a bill, Congress may attempt to overbalance the veto. Is also if both the Senate is the House pass the bill by 2/3 majority, the presidential vote is overruled and the bill become a law. The check and balance between the three branches of the U.S. government. So the House of Representatives has sole power in impeachment, but the Senate has all power to try any impeachment. So any bill that intends to raise revenue must originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate also has to approve the bill. Congress has the power to state and collect any tax or duty. So, two-part system. American election politics has been dominated by two major political parties since shortly after the founding of the Republic. Since in 18th century, they have been the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, the largest third party since the 19th century has been in the Libertarian Party. How did they start? Despite the fact that the United States founding the father did not wish for American politics to be partisan. Early political story in the 17th-19th century saw the rise of a two-party political system, the Federalism Party and Democratic Republican Party, centered on opposing views on federal government. How did the two-party system form? They started as Federalists and Anti-Federalists, led by Jefferson and Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton believed that for the United States to be successful, it would have to be formed in a similar way to the British imperial model that had been so successful. While Thomas Jefferson, he believed that a central treasury and international army would endow the central government with too much power that an economy driven by finance would lead to reckless gambling. He also thought a strong president would be no better than a Polish king, a reference to the Polish tradition of aristocrats electing their monarchy from among their number. Here, as you see, you have the image of judicial branch. So in judicial branch, you have federal and state. So starting in federal you have US Supreme Court and all federal courts. So in this federal court, we have interpret laws. So about state, you have state high court and all state courts. So in state courts, we have interpret laws. So here also there the image of legislative branch. So in legislative branch, you have Congress and state legislature. So in Congress, we have create federal statutes, and in state legislature we have create state status. So the third part, alumino. So there are some impact of the third part, which is called alumino part. So the first impact, so the third part may help the voter turnout by bringing more people to the polls. Also, third part candidate at the top of the ticket can help to draw attention to other part candidates down the ballot, helping them to win local or state office. This will help them to win the election into the local or into the office. So also third part candidate will win election in American campaign. So third part candidate can shift national attention to a particular issues. Also, third part candidate can take a vote away from major political party. Candidate also can influence the outcome of the election. So this means that the candidate, they can know the profit of the election, they can get the profit of election or the outcome of the election. Yes, thank you so much.